Global Social Service Workforce Alliance through funding from the United States President's Emergency Plan for AIDS Relief, PEPFAR, and the United States Agency for International Development, USAID, to the For Children project implemented by a consortium of organizations and led by Catholic Relief Services. I am Nicole Brown, the Communications Manager for the Global Social Service Workforce Alliance. Today's webinar will highlight examples of effective advocacy campaigns for workforce strengthening, focusing on social workers for World Social Work Day. In this webinar today, I'll briefly share some background about World Social Work Day and the role of the Global Social Service Workforce Alliance. Then we'll hear presentations from 3 countries that are developing advocacy campaigns aimed at building greater awareness and respect for social workers. Greg Wright from the National Association of Social Workers will share details of Social Work Month and their Social Workers Stand Up campaign, followed by Yanti Kusuma Wardani and Uga Pratama Gunawan with the Indonesian Association of Professional Social Workers. They will speak about their National Social Workers Week campaign and goal of greater governmental support for the profession. Finally, Ellen Menotti at Social Services of Cambodia will present on their year-long campaign to elevate the social work profession. We encourage your questions. Everyone is muted, but you can type your questions in the chat box throughout the presentations. I will then pose your questions to the speakers following all presentations. The full recording of this webinar will be available afterward on the Alliance's website and YouTube channel. The International Federation of Social Workers established World Social Work Day in 1983. More recently, each year's theme has reflected goals of the global agenda for social work and social development. The graphic shown here is the poster for this year's theme. Links for downloading the poster, as well as other materials being developed by organizations globally and listings of events being held around the world, can be found on the Alliance's website at socialserviceworkforce.org. The purpose of World Social Work Day, as defined by the IFSW, is listed on this slide. As we all know, the social service workforce, comprised of social workers and many other workers, are often undervalued and don't receive the national recognition or support needed to ensure the appropriate number of trained workers are available to meet the needs of their communities. World Social Work Day was developed to draw attention to this issue and demonstrate the need for better support to this profession in order to effectively carry out this important work. The Global Social Service Workforce Alliance was established in June 2013 to act as a convener to bring together groups and individuals, such as yourselves, in order to provide a forum for discussion, sharing of promising practices and tools, and exchanging innovative approaches toward advocacy, all with the aim of strengthening the social service workforce. The Alliance currently has 1,200 members across 100 countries. I invite you to learn more and become a member by visiting socialserviceworkforce.org. On the following 2 slides, I will share some tools and activities the Alliance is launching in support of World Social Work Day and workforce strengthening. One of the resources the Alliance is developing is an advocacy toolkit. The first piece of this toolkit is the infographic shown here, available for your use in World Social Work Day outreach and throughout the year. It can be downloaded from our website. The rest of the toolkit, which is being developed with input from members globally, will be available in April and will include an additional infographic that is more generally focused on workforce strengthening, fact sheets, statistics, and other readily available resources to aid national and global advocacy efforts. The Alliance is also calling upon all of you to join a Thunderclap campaign in promotion of World Social Work Day. A Thunderclap is when many people sign up to have the same message shared at the same date and time. The link at the bottom of this slide and shared in the chat window goes to the page where you can sign up with your Twitter or Facebook pages. The message will then be automatically scheduled to post on your social media page on March 21st. Our collective voices will have a thunderous impact as the message is shared widely. As you can see, we're currently at 85% of supporters needed to make the campaign happen and for the message to be sent, so please also encourage those in your networks to join in. Now, I'd like to introduce our first speaker. Greg Wright is the Public Relations Manager at the National Association of Social Workers in the United States. He manages social media, media relations, and overall communication strategy for the association, which has a membership of 120,000 social workers. Greg has enjoyed a long career in communications and journalism, including previous roles in reporting for national newspapers. NASW celebrates Social Work Month throughout March, and he will share details of their campaign. Thank you, and I now turn it over to you, Greg.
Hi. Good morning, good evening, good afternoon to everyone. It's a pleasure to be here. Before I talk about our Social Work Month activities, I just want to tell you a little bit about the National Association of Social Workers. We are one of the largest professional social work organizations in the world with about 120,000 members, and we also have chapters in 55 U.S. states and territories. Social Work Month has been around for a long time. NASW launched it back in 1963, and President Ronald Reagan officially recognized it in '84. So it's actually been around now for over half a century. What is the purpose of Social Work Month? Well, we want to raise the morale of members of the social work profession who are often not recognized for the valuable work that they do. We also want to raise public awareness about the value of the social work profession, and we also want to encourage lawmakers and regulators to pay attention to legislation and issues that are important to the social work profession. This year's Social Work Month theme is Social Workers Stand Up, and it has a two-pronged purpose. We wanted to give social workers and their allies tips so that social workers could advocate for themselves and promote the profession. And we also wanted to let the public know how social workers advocate or stand up for others. So we have a list of Social Work Month activities that we are doing this month, and I'm going to run through all of them for you briefly. The first thing is that we have issued a draft Social Work Month proclamation. Social workers can have their senator, congressman, or local lawmakers issue an official proclamation. We've actually found that this is an effective tool to raise awareness of the social work profession at a government level. A few years back, we even had President Obama issue an official Social Work Month proclamation. This year, we have also issued an infographic. It is online at our Social Work Month website, www.socialworkmonth.org. You can either post it on social media, or you can print it out and use it as a poster. And it basically offers social workers tips on how to advocate on behalf of themselves and also for the profession. One of the tips is visit a local school and talk to students there about why you love social work and why you're in this profession. Another tool that we are using this year is a Social Work Month radio tour, which will be done by NASW CEO Angelo McLean. Now, he isn't actually traveling out to radio stations. What's happening is that reporters from stations all around the nation will be phoning in to him. He will be using these interviews to tell folks about Social Work Month and also to make folks aware of issues important to the social work profession. One of the biggest issues we are on is the Affordable Care Act. We are actually trying to prevent Congress now from overturning this. One other activity is we are airing public service announcements all around the nation. These will be on radio as well. Basically, they are a message letting folks know that this is Social Work Month, and it is also letting listeners know that if they are like having an issue, social workers are there to provide help. I'm going to play it for you.
If you're in crisis or know someone who is, this message is for you. No matter what you're struggling with, a professional social worker can help. March is Social Work Month. From classrooms and mental health clinics to veterans hospitals and senior centers, America's nearly 650,000 professional social workers meet people wherever and whenever they need help. To find a professional social worker near you, visit helpstartshere.org. This public service announcement is brought to you by the National Association of Social Workers at this station.
So our public service announcements, as I said, will be airing out all around the nation throughout Social Work Month in March. One other activity is our Social Work Month merchandise. And this merchandise, one other thing is we are working on a video public service announcements. Those are being filmed this month, and they will begin airing out in April. In these videos, we will have actors portray real-life stories of how social workers have actually helped out clients. Our next activity is our Social Work Month merchandise, and basically we sell T-shirts, mugs, and other things that have our Social Work Month theme and our logo on it. These serve a few purposes. They help us to advertise our Social Work Month. Social workers who are holding events all around the nation wear them, so it's a sign of unity. And we also earn proceeds from the sales. So it actually enables us to raise money so that we're able to do future activities. Also this month, we will, for the 5th year, have our Social Work Media Awards, and we award TV shows, movies, and news articles that actually portray social workers in a positive way. Some of our past winners were actress Rosie O'Donnell, who actually portrayed a social worker in a TV show called The Fosters. Director Oren Muberman, who actually did a film on homelessness that featured a prominent social work role, and journalist Judy Woodruff. One other tool is social media. We have actually found out that it's an effective tool. Back on March 8th, we had a Social Work Month Twitter storm, and during this, for 1 hour, we flooded Twitter with positive messages about social work, using hashtags Social Work Month and Social Work Stand Up. Now, this was held at the same time that we had a Social Work Day on the Hill, which is when officials and members from various social work organizations are up here on the Hill lobbying for social work. We had over 1 million Twitter views, so we are looking at it as a success. So timing and how we are actually measuring whether this is effective. We'll be looking at how many media, web, and social media hits that we have throughout Social Work Month, and we'll also be looking at how many social work items that we are selling. Early indications show us that this campaign this year is actually a bit more successful than it was last year. So how can you actually get involved? All of our campaign information is at www.socialworkmonth.org. Feel free to use all of our logos and our messaging there. We are also encouraging you to hold Social Work Month events in your area. We're also interested in hearing any of your ideas, because we are also interested in learning from you as well. So that's it. I want to thank you for having us here, and once more, I would like to wish you a very happy Social Work Month.
Thank you, Greg, for sharing these ideas and tools from the NASW's Social Workers Stand Up campaign. I'd like to now introduce our next speakers from Indonesia. Yanti is the Education and Protection Specialist for the IDEAL program at Save the Children Indonesia, where she provides technical leadership on child protection and inclusive education. Yanti obtained her Master's of Social Work in the United States and is a member of the Indonesian Association of Professional Social Workers and Indonesian Association of Professional Child and Family Social Workers. Uga is currently completing a master's degree at the Bandung College of Social Welfare in Child Protection and Child Welfare. He is an active member of the Indonesian Association of Professional Social Workers and is committee chair for World Social Work Day activities. His past work and volunteer positions have been in the areas of community development and medical social work. They will be sharing activities of the association planned throughout March. Yanti and Uga, I turn it over to you.
Thank you, Nicole, for the introduction, and Greg for the wonderful presentations. Hello, everyone. I'm Yanti. I'm here with Uga.
Hello, everyone.
It's a privilege for us, actually, to be here. We are representing Indonesian Association of Professional Social Workers. We would like to share some activities conducted in Indonesia on celebrating World Social Work Day. Okay, next slide, please. As a developing country, Indonesia aims to achieve and promote social welfare as stated in Indonesia's Constitution 1945 at the 4th paragraph. The effort to embody the social welfare is conducted through development in all sectors that require social workers as one of the first implementers in social and policy planning. Social welfare or social work in practice requires strong synergy to be able to achieve the ultimate objective of handling social problems in Indonesia. Indonesia Association of Professional Social Workers is an organization that accommodates all professional social workers across Indonesia. The members of Indonesia Association of Professional Social Workers, currently we have 1,581 social workers, which 586 among them are certified. Here in Indonesia, we have 35 universities on social work or social welfares, and we have also 18 vocational high schools. So the association aims to improve the knowledge and skills of social workers, provide guidance for standardizations and licensing social work practice, protect all members and beneficiaries, building collaboration with other professions and stakeholders, and participate in national development, especially in social development and social welfare. Currently, there are 15 chapters of the association throughout Indonesia. So, on celebrating the World Social Workers Day this year, 2017, Indonesia conducted National Social Workers Week 2017. So it means that we are conducting several activities throughout March 2017. The goal of this event is to build mutual understanding and synergy among all social workers and all elements to build a strong Indonesian social workers environment. So by conducting these activities, we have some measurement of success. Those are by having 5,000 of participants in total for all events and 1 million signatures to support the government in working on the social work regulations that currently has been initiated by the legislative. Next slide, please. The main organizer of this event is Indonesia Associations of Professional Social Workers. Here in Indonesia, we call it IPSPI. We are partnering with Indonesian Youth Social Welfare Cares, Indonesian Association of Social Workers Educators, Indonesian Association of Social Welfare Students, which all of them are part of 10 Indonesian social work pillars in Indonesian Social Work Consortium as mandated by the Asian Secretariat. Now, more detail on the information of the National Social Workers Week 2017 will be presented by my friend Uga in the following slides.
Thank you, Ms. Yanti. Hello, everyone. I am Uga. I will tell you more details about our event in Indonesia. So, in celebrating the International Social Work Day 2017, we conduct the National Social Workers Week. We have prepared this event since October 2016. There are 6 particular activities in this event. As you can see in this slide, we started with the Indonesian Social Work Competition that conducted in January till February 2017, and we jumped to the National Olympic of Social Work in 4th March 2017 and talk show held it on 5th March. After those events, we moved to the gathering of social work, which we initially planned to hold this gathering on 11th of March. But due to the situation, we have to postpone and move to 1st of April 2017. And on 19th of March, we will conduct the Social Work Day celebration and the Social Work Practice Expo. Next slide, please. In social work competition, we have 4 competitions. There are essay competition, photography competition, social advertising competition, and social work video profile competition. The essay competition is widely open for all social workers and social work or social welfare students. And for certain competitions, such as photography, social advertisement, and social worker video profile competition, are open for public, not only for social worker or social work students. And the Social Workers Olympic is a competition for social work professional high school students. In Indonesia, we have 18 vocational high schools that have social work practice. Each school and one team consists of 3 students. They compete on answering questions related to social work or social welfare. This particular competition is similar to a quiz where the participants should answer questions that given by the judge. Next slide, please. And the next event is the talk show on social work. As the global agenda of 2017 International Social Day, the talk show conducted with adopting the theme promoting community and environmental sustainability. And next event is the National Gathering of Indonesian Social Workers, which aim to strengthen the relationship, communication, and synergy of all social workers in Indonesia. One of the goals of this event aims to build the solution for certain social problems occurred in Indonesia that could be implemented in a program to overcome the existing problems. This event also aims to build and develop knowledge on, and contribute in development of social work or social welfare study in Indonesia. Next slide. The long march that will be conducted in Sunday, 19th of March 2017, aims to raise the awareness of social workers to society and also to gain support for social workers in Indonesia, as the number of social workers are growing each year. With the Social Work Practice Expo is being conducted on the same day and place, we want to introduce the society about what is social workers and what social workers do, and also the field of practice. This is the event where we continue to collect the 1 million signatures as to support the government for social workers bill. We hope with these events we can raise the awareness of social workers, and also we want to gain support for all social workers in Indonesia. In the next slide, please.
Good afternoon.
For this event, we also created some merchandises to promote this event. We have goodie bag, note, and stickers for giveaway to participate in our talk show and Olympic. And also we create another merchandises such as mug, hat, and t-shirt to sell. We created these merchandises to promote our events and raising the awareness of social work. Next slide, please. And the last, you can find us on social media like Facebook, Twitter, Instagram. And for further information, if you want to ask something about our events in Indonesia, please contact us via our email. That's all from us. Happy Social Work Month. Thank you.
Thank you.
Thank you.
Great. Thank you both for sharing information on the Olympics and other innovative activities planned, particularly how you're planning to engage social work students. I encourage all participants to begin using the chat box to note your questions. And now I'd like to introduce our last presenter, Ellen Minotti. She is the Director of Social Services of Cambodia. Ellen has worked with Social Services of Cambodia since 1992. Social Services of Cambodia is a local NGO providing training in social work and counseling and social services to vulnerable people. Its philosophy is to empower and offer support, opportunity, and choice to the people it serves. Born and raised in the United States, she obtained her Master's of Social Work from the University of Washington in the U.S. Ellen, I now turn it over to you.
Thank you, Nicole, and thank you, Yanti and Uga. It's been great to listen to your two talks, and Greg as well. Good evening now, and good morning and afternoon from Phnom Penh, Cambodia. And thank you very much for the chance to share our experience so far in promoting social work as a valued profession in Cambodia. SSC, as we call Social Services of Cambodia, has been active here for 25 years, providing training and implementing programs for the benefit of a variety of vulnerable groups. The work we are doing now to promote social work as a valued profession is embedded in a program called Family Care First, initiated by USAID, supported by the Global Alliance for Children and others, and working with many other NGOs and the government to assure that children in Cambodia live and thrive in safe and nurturing family settings. The Family Care First program identified a series of activities that need to take place in order to meet its goal. Those included, first, strengthening the quality and interaction of government bodies working for the benefit of children. Second, strengthening the social service workforce. Third, preventing the separation of children and their families. And fourth, transforming the traditional beliefs about where the best place is to raise children. Within that context, SSC was selected to implement a program to strengthen the social service workforce by raising awareness about social work as a profession and raising the esteem in which the profession is held. The project is designed to last 18 months, ending in April 2018. With more and better trained social workers, the 4 main goals of the Family Care First program will be implemented better and more successfully. Other actions to strengthen the social service workforce are the creation of standards for both the practice and training of social work. Those are being implemented by other organizations. In order to achieve the goals of the project, SSC has identified its target groups as, first, the general public, then the university-bound high school students, then civil society, and finally, relevant government ministries. The project will celebrate World Social Work Day this weekend as a kickoff to raise the profile of social work in Cambodia and to acknowledge and recognize those who practice social work here. SSC is developing the messages to be used for specific and overall groups and is deciding on how to convey those messages across various channels of communication, including radio, video, social media, printed materials, and small group work activities. To date, the messages that have been created include social work, a valued profession. Social work enhances social well-being. And then our overall slogan for the project, who cares? Social workers care. Please bear in mind that these messages were created in Khmer, Cambodia's language, and were tested for meaning and appeal to Cambodians. Additional messages will evolve and be used on the materials being developed: printed brochures, social media, videos, radio programs, and small group activities. The first large activity will be World Social Work Day, being celebrated for the 8th time in Cambodia on Saturday the 18th of March. Our project is supporting the expansion of this occasion at an all-morning event in Phnom Penh hosted by the Association of Professional Social Workers of Cambodia. Attendance is expected to be between 300 and 350 and will include students, faculty, and alumni from the Royal University of Phnom Penh's Department of Social Work, the National Institute of Social Affairs, field practice partners, as well as other social work practitioners in Cambodia and other interested people. The program will include short remarks by a variety of speakers, a break for snacks, a video about social work made by a former student, and music by the Messenger Band, a well-known singing group comprised of garment workers who have been performing for over 10 years. To raise the motivation of the participants at the World Social Work Day, they will be given T-shirts decorated with the International Federation of Social Work image for 2017's World Social Work Day, which has been adapted to the Cambodian context. And on the front, the logo of the Association of the Professional Social Workers of Cambodia. Also colorful balloons with the message World Social Work Day 2017 to add to the festive atmosphere. And cloth bags created by the project that display the message, who cares, on one side, and the other side, the answer, social workers care, along with social work media connections and the logos of our supporters. Following the World Social Work Day event, the project will continue its work with target groups. One large target audience will be the general public, who will be accessed via radio programs and spots, video spots, printed materials, and social media. For example, on March 23rd, there will be a radio program broadcast live and nationwide on FM 102. Two social workers will discuss their work, their motivation to do this work, and provide information on how people who may be interested in learning to be social workers can enroll. They will be followed by a live question and answer session with listeners from all over the country. The program will be rebroadcast a few days later, then recorded, edited, and packaged to post on our project's website. The next activity will be a campaign to provide accurate and enthusiastic information about social work to university-bound high school students. In Cambodia, if a high school student passes the national post-high school examination, he or she is eligible to attend a government university for free. 12th graders who are interested in continuing their education are required to designate the field of study they wish to pursue by April or May of the year they will graduate. Currently, the team is meeting with sample groups of the respondents to assess their awareness of and interest in social work. Based on these results, they will design small group activities. The tentative program is to meet with 600 high school students during April and May in groups of 15 to 20 in both urban and rural locations, to show them a video about social work, to have a practicing social worker talk to them about life as a social worker, and to give them leaflets that explain the values and practices of social workers, and telephone numbers and website information so that they can follow up if they are interested. At the recent preliminary research sessions, it seemed that not one high school student we spoke to so far, nor a few of the Year 1 and Year 2 university students had any idea at all about what social work was and what social workers do. But a handful of them came to the presenters after, eagerly, to ask for more information. This is one of the reasons for the program to exist, to raise awareness and about social work and its value to society. Data will be kept to measure whether this method has the wanted impact. Once the student campaign is completed and documented, the team will create a series of videos that show the work and home life of a social worker in Cambodia. This series, if put together, would be one story, but will be presented serially on the project website and social media sites, as well as used for the awareness-raising sessions. Following the student campaign will be one targeted to civil society. While development work seems a natural partner to social work, there are many local and international NGO leaders who have no idea about social work, its values, and the skills it brings to work with vulnerable people. The project will work through the Coordination Committee for Cambodia, a network of local and international NGOs, to meet with small groups of NGO leaders and orient them to social work using video, practicing social work speakers, and leaflets. And a final campaign will be carried out with higher-level officials of several ministries which have responsibilities relevant to social work. These are the Ministries of Social and Veterans Affairs, Ministry of Education, Ministry of Health, Ministry of Women's Affairs, and Ministry of Interior, which manages the subnational entities known as communes and their leadership, and are responsible for the welfare of women and children at the local level. The format will be similar to the program for the NGOs with a bit more formality and protocol. Video, speakers, and informational leaflets will be used for these sessions. The Family Care First program has a strong emphasis on a process they refer to as Pilot, Learn, Grow, which is essentially a monitoring and evaluation program. SSC has hired a full-time M&E officer to design and implement tools for all the campaigns to monitor and evaluate their impact. The goal is to learn from both successes and less than success, and to quickly incorporate the lessons learned into the campaigns. In all, it will be a busy year, designing, implementing, and measuring impact to see if awareness and interest in social work can be enhanced by the interventions. We look forward to our doing and our learning, and we thank you for your interest and attention. We'll be happy to answer questions after the final presentation. Thank you.
Great. Thank you, Ellen, for sharing these materials and your plans for a long-term campaign that Social Services of Cambodia is undertaking. Now we'd like to invite all participants to post any questions you may have for the presenters in the chat window. You can type them there and we will pose those questions for you to the presenters. And while you're thinking of questions, we also invite anyone who may be participating in World Social Work Day events, either on World Social Work Day itself, March 21st, or in the month of March. If you're holding events in your country, we'd like to hear about what you may be doing, and we'd be happy to share that information later on the Alliance website. And as you're all thinking of questions, perhaps a first question to our presenters I'd like to ask is if, from your experiences in planning these campaigns, if you have any tips or suggestions for the participants on the webinar who may be considering doing something for World Social Work Day or undertaking advocacy efforts in their countries, if you could share any ideas, tips from your experiences as to how they could go about this and what works best.
Well, I think that I'll end up weighing in first. One thing that we have found is that you really need to talk with social workers that are in your areas about what it is that they actually need. So rather than having a top-down campaign, actually go out and find out what are folks out there needing in order to spread a positive message about social work.
One thing we've noticed so far in Cambodia is the immense enthusiasm and energy of the social work students. They've been part of the committee to do this work, and they've been amazing. Just enhancing everything we're doing by leaps and bounds and also gaining a lot of ownership.
Yeah, in organizing a big event like the International Social Work Day, we need a strong synergy along all the social workers, not only the social workers, but also our college. This is a big event, and the main goal is we want to introduce the social workers to the society. So it really needs a strong synergy among all of the social workers, the governments, and all elements. That's all.
And adding to what Uga said, as part of our experience on conducting the World Social Work Day celebration, it's also important to have intensive coordination within the committee and also coordination with the partners and especially the government. Because by involving the government as part of the preparations or the committee, it's also help us on advocating the social work issues and aligning our goals with what they have in the government. And also publication is also important. Preparations on having as early as possible publications of our activities is significantly affecting the implementations of the events. Thank you.
Great, thank you. And Ellen, we've received one question specifically for you, asking how you've determined to engage specifically the 11th and 12th graders.
We're working, we've submitted letters to the Ministry of Education to have formal permission, but we also are working through NGOs that work with youth at that age who have given us access to their young people's groups who are sometimes composed of people at that age group, and this will be starting in the next month or so, but our initial meetings have been with groups through the NGOs while we're waiting for official permission from the Ministry of Education.
Great, thank you.
Nicole?
Hi, Tara.
Yes. Can I have a question for Greg?
Yes.
Greg, I am Tata from Indonesia.
Hi.
Hi. This is interesting to know that in America, you still need the campaign to introduce of the social workers. So this is beyond of our assumption because we think that in America that social worker has been well known, but still need to campaign. You know that in Indonesia right now is we really still need to campaign to show to the community about the professional one of the social workers, because people hears that social worker is perceived same for all everyone that having volunteer in the community. Thank you.
Yes, yes. I thank you for that question. Yes, there are over 600,000, social workers here in our nation. We have noticed that how social workers are portrayed in the media, in movies, is in fact improving, but there are still a lot of misconceptions out there. For instance, there is a common myth here that all social workers are in a child welfare area and that they are baby stealers and that they are breaking up families, etc. And so even though awareness is improving, there are still a lot of myths happening. So our program, even though we've had our social work month here for over 50 years, it is still a needed thing, and it's also a necessary thing.
Thank you, Greg. And we've received a question asking about parasocial work programs, but maybe if we could expand upon that, if you all could talk about any type of paraprofessional training programs or certificate or degree programs that may exist in your countries, and also if your campaigns are targeting additional groups outside of social workers, but within the social service workforce as a whole.
I'll jump in first on this. Cambodia did not have a university program for social work training until about 10 years ago. I may be a little bit inaccurate by a year or two, one way or the other there. And so before then, the only kind of training that was available was through NGOs. And there were a couple of NGOs that made a very concerted effort to provide high-quality training certificates without any official certification attached, but properly evaluated and properly monitored training programs that produced what is actually the vast majority of social workers practicing these days. So many of these people have skills equal to people with university degrees that can now be obtained, but do not have the recognition. So that's something that in our organization we're working on getting recognition, perhaps by competency, but competency rating of some sort. But there definitely has been a lot of training done, and there of course are a lot of social workers or people who use the name social worker who don't have a clue, and that's also a problem to be solved over the next series of decades. Yes. Thanks.
Okay, thank you, Ellen, for your response. There's another question from Paul in South Africa asking, what is one major advocacy issue or message that you are trying to convey with this year's World Social Work Day campaign?
I'm going to jump into silence.
Great.
Okay, sorry. One, that social work is a profession, that it is a skill that requires a lot of learning and practice and supervision to do well, and that it is not something to be done casually, and it doesn't just take a big heart, although that's useful. Requires critical thinking and other qualities. So we're trying to get recognition and respect for social work as being a very delicate and sophisticated skill to have. Thank you.
Great. And Greg or Yanti and Ugo, would either of you like to jump in as well?
Right.
Yeah. Go ahead.
Okay, go ahead, Greg.
Oh, no. Ladies first. Go ahead, please.
All right.
Here, I'm with Uga, actually. All right. Here from Indonesia, the advocacy, the major advocacy issues that we'd like to gain from our campaign is that the awareness of social work professions. And also, we'd like to encourage young social workers to be, proud of their professions. And the bigger advocacy issue than those two are supporting the government on launching the regulations on social workers, the national regulation on social workers that currently on the legislation.
Well,
Yeah.
oh, go ahead again.
Okay. Yeah. In this year World Social Work Day celebration in Indonesia, we want to raise the awareness of the social work profession in Indonesia. As each year, the number of the social workers are growing. Society needs to know what the social worker is, because there's a lot of social problems occurred in each year, and it needs social workers to get involved to solve the problem. So that's one of the main issues we try to raise during the Social Work Day celebration. The point is, we want to society knows about social workers and what we are doing, and also our practice. Yeah. Okay, thank you. Go ahead, Greg.
Yes. Basically, what we are aiming to do is to like show that social workers are an integral part of our society. There are a lot of positive changes that have been made here that would not have been made without social workers in it. So we really want to show that, you know, social workers are out there advocating for positive social changes, which is a reason why we have a Social Work Month theme of social workers stand up or advocate for others. That's all.
Great. Thank you all for those responses. And Katie has also noted that in the UK that the status of social work profession continues to be a challenge, and I think it's one that really resonates with a lot of the participants on this webinar, and trying to gain greater appreciation, awareness, and attention for social work profession and the social service field as a whole. It continues to be one that is a challenge, but that we're all certainly making headway, and sharing promising practices like this on this webinar certainly help share ideas among the group. Let's see, as we're getting more questions, Greg has shared the website for where you can download their materials. And if there's any final questions or thoughts, I invite you to note those in the chat box. Again, also, if you are participating in World Social Work Day activities in your country, either through your organization or professional association, please let us know. We'd be happy to share that on the Alliance website. And I'd like to thank everyone for joining us today for great presentations and some lively discussion. Just a final few reminders before we close the session. Again, if you'd like to join the Alliance and receive further notices about future webinars and other updates relevant to the social service workforce, we invite you to visit our website, socialserviceworkforce.org, to become a member. A full summary and full recording of this webinar, as well as each of the past 22 webinars, will be available on socialserviceworkforce.org, as well as on our YouTube channel. And we invite you to join our Thunderclap campaign. Link is here and was shared earlier. I'll note it again in the chat box. And finally, if you'd like to join the conversation, the hashtag that people have been using so far and will continue using next week is WSWD17 for World Social Work Day 17. We hope that today's webinar has encouraged all of you to get involved next week in advocating for the importance of social work for the profession and the social service workforce as a whole. We thank you again for joining us, and we wish you a very happy World Social Work Day next week. Good day, good night. Thank you.
Good night.
Thank you.
Bye.
Thank you, Nico. Thank you all.
Thank you, everyone.
Thanks, everybody. Bye.
Thanks. Bye-bye.